Hello, my little ninjas. My name's Mike. This is my YouTube page, Mox News, and welcome to your Wake and Bake News at 7 p.m. I'm your host, Moxie, and I have some pretty cool stuff for you this evening. You can hear me, right? I have some pretty cool, I don't know, there's a pop-up here that says the audio stream current bit rate is lower than the recommended bit rate. So I just want to make sure you can hear me. That being said, I have a bunch of videos for you tonight. Some of them are kind of long. What's going on today is fairly complicated. I don't know that I'll play the full ones, but I have one from Kennedy in which they discuss the military-industrial complex and a few other things which are generally not discussed. And again, that particular clip will lead me back to the title of the show. Do you believe a single word that the Pentagon says? And you know what? I'm gonna play. I have a trailer for that clip. I'm gonna play the trailer for it for all the lucky people who came here first. Well, we'll play it in a sec. There's all kinds of stuff going on in Afghanistan, right? And apparently Biden, the Pentagon, all these people knew that there's this big terror threat. They have Americans congregating at this hotel in Kabul, and apparently they sent them there, and then there's a massive explosion right there next to the hotel. And to me, this is really fucking convenient. I mean, yeah, it would be a target if you wanted the Americans to stay forever. Yeah, let's target this thing. Because this is not the Taliban doing this. It makes no sense that the Taliban would do this, because the Americans are on their way out of Afghanistan with their tail between their legs. The Taliban just kicked their ass. And so for the Taliban to attack something that's going to stall the United States from leaving makes no sense whatsoever. So it's not the Taliban, which is apparently basic logic, because most people can understand that. So instead of it being the Taliban, all of a sudden there's this ISIS-K. It's like Special K. ISIS Special K. And the Pentagon expects us to believe this. This is the real problem, is that we've listened to the Pentagon lie, 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 we've listened to the Pentagon, the military-industrial complex media outlets lie and lie and lie. And now, at this moment of, incredible importance, we're supposed to believe what the Pentagon says. Oh, we had no idea this would happen, right? Oh, we had no idea it'd be so bad. Oh, we had no idea the Taliban would take, all these cities in a matter of days. We had no idea. These are supposed to be the most strategic military minds on the planet, right? Been working on this for 20 years. We had no idea. Does that sound like a strategic military? Does it sound like the top strategic military minds on the planet to you? Sounds like a fucking bunch of bumbling idiots to me. Might just be me. I don't know. I'm going to go get my tea. I'm going to play this trailer from the Kennedy clip, which I will play in a minute or two. But first we should have a discussion about what's said here. It's only like a minute long. I'm going to get my tea. I'll be right back.
There's this weird thing where people keep saying, is Joe Biden consulting with the experts, the defense and intelligence experts? I hope he isn't, because they're the ones who created this mess. At this point, after multi-decades of seeing what U.S. foreign policy under the direction of defense and intelligence agencies has looked like, trusting them to continue to give us guidance on what we should be doing here is like still continuing to trust Fauci when it comes to COVID. Like, they have demonstrated that they are at best inept and at worst most bad actors. And again, let's be clear. The U.S. intelligence and defense community has demonstrated a willingness and eagerness to arm its own enemies starting in the 1950s, the 1960s, the 1970s, the 1980s, the 1990s, the 2000s, and the 2010s. And yet it is a crackpot conspiracy theory to think that it might still be happening now. It seems very interesting that at a time that the U.S. is pulling out, we need to end the authorization of use of military force. Yes. The war powers need to put back in the hands of Congress and of the people. And we need to completely relook at how we've been doing foreign policy for decades now, not just post 9/11, but really post Operation Ajax in the 1950s. We need to end the military industrial complex. We need to bring the troops home, and we need to stop this expeditionary foreign policy that has ended and ruined so many lives.
If not now, when?
That suddenly ISIS appears and starts killing dozens of people. That suddenly ISIS appears and starts killing dozens of people. That suddenly ISIS appears and starts killing dozens of people. That suddenly ISIS appears and starts killing dozens of people.
Pretty convenient, right? For ISIS to appear suddenly and start killing dozens of people. Pretty convenient. All of a sudden, sure is nice when the Pentagon's plan falls into place, isn't it? You have to see the lies. You have to understand the evil that we're dealing with in the Pentagon, in the White House, in the Congress. These people are bloodthirsty. And when I say, you know, what made me post this video today, the first thing I thought when when I saw the bombing, the news of the bombing this morning, the first thing I thought was, I bet that's our military that did that. Because it works for them, okay? They're going to leave this place, right? It doesn't work for anyone else, okay? They say, oh, ISIS-K. Well, apparently ISIS-K wants to be, they want this, if they're there, if this new imaginary boogeyman is there all of a sudden out of nowhere, I mean, I haven't heard the word ISIS in like 7 years, 6 or 7 years, right? And now all of a sudden, there's an ISIS threat. Right? Now, all of a sudden, ISIS crawls out of the woodwork because it's incredibly convenient for the Pentagon for them to do that. And, of course, the Pentagon pays them millions of dollars. Right? So, it's clear where the problem is. And this guy, he says, the Pentagon has no problem arming both sides. The Pentagon has been giving the Taliban hundreds of millions of dollars for over a decade and tons of weapons. These evil, evil guys that we're supposed to fight for 20 years. Pentagon's been paying them and giving them weapons so that they can fight. That's our fucking government. That's our fucking piece of shit, garbage, rogue, you know, Pentagon, rogue fucking government, and it's not going to survive. And we have to have a discussion. We have to have a discussion. This is why I keep doing this, because there has to be a discussion about what it is that we're going to do about the Pentagon, okay? Because we can all see that it's evil. We can all see that it's evil, right? So what is it that we're going to do about it? We're just going to let it continue to do evil in our names? Because that's what's happening right now. The Pentagon is doing evil and saying it's to defend our wonderful citizens. Hello, caller.
So you're thinking that the Pentagon is trying to fuck Biden? Is that what your theory is?
No. Biden's fucking been in on the shit forever. Okay? He's part of this problem forever. And I'm not just talking about since he came to the White House. I'm saying that the ISIS is part of the Pentagon's plan. I'm saying that the Taliban, the Pentagon's been paying for more than a decade. Millions and millions of dollars.
sold everybody out, and the Taliban began taking over, and I don't think the Pentagon wants out. They're making money, and they're doing what they do. So since when has the Pentagon ever gone against or ever done what a president wants to do anyway? They'd rather kill the president, our fearless leader, than get out of Afghanistan. So Biden did what he did, and now the Pentagon is saying that this ISIS is in league with Taliban. And actually, the Taliban and ISIS are enemies. The Taliban executed ISIS commanders just last week. So
Taliban doesn't want anybody else in their country that is a threat. They are the supreme word in their country, and they don't want anyone challenging that or doing shit that they're not in on.
Well, you're not the only one suggesting that this could be a false flag. I've heard other people suggest that too. And,
it was my first thought. Oh look, explosion! How convenient.
Yeah, the best case scenario is extreme negligence. That's the best case scenario.
Right.
It's very convenient that a bomb goes off in an area that should be controlled by the American military. It killed 60 Afghans, 13 Marines, and it wounded 100 people. And ISIS and the Taliban are deadly, deadly enemies. So I don't. The Pentagon seems to be tying the two together. Like these are, ISIS has influenced the Taliban, and there's so much bullshit. You definitely can't trust the Pentagon. Joe Biden is an idiot, and any person with some logistical sense would have constructed a more efficient exit with checkpoints and lines and people not crowded together.
Right.
Double checkpoints.
This is what I'm saying. These are supposed to be the most strategic military minds on the planet. You can't fuck up this bad on accident. Okay, you can fuck up this or that, but if you're the most strategic military mind on the planet, you can't fuck up this bad. It's not possible without that being the plan.
Meanwhile, 13 of their own soldiers are dead. 13 Marines are dead.
It's a small price to pay, man.
Yeah, to try to get back in there. It's really weird. It happened at 10 o'clock Eastern time. And there was warnings by Australia, the UK, and the United States hours and hours ahead of time, warning people not to go to the airport.
I have a video from last night of Biden talking about how there's all this threats that we have to be concerned with. Well, obviously you weren't concerned enough, were you?
Yeah, no shit. Where the fuck were you? He's eating caviar and playing poker or something, whatever he does at night. Who the fuck knows?
Who the fuck cares?
Yeah, it's a bad thing, man. When you let shit like this happen because of the chance that it might get us back in there, man, that's some sneaky, devilish.
It's evil. It's pure evil.
Yeah. So I guess that's
definitely evil. All she is evil.
For the next 4 days or 5 days. They'll probably have a round two. They'll probably do it again in about 5 days.
Fuck yeah, dude! I bet it doesn't wait 5 days, but yeah, it's coming.
I heard they got 5,000 Americans out of there, and there's, several hundred more to go. So it would be a bitch to be there right now. I'm cleaning up dead bodies today. That's 100 wounded, 60 dead, and 13 Marines. And they're trying to tie ISIS and the Taliban together, and ISIS and the Taliban hate each other. So, don't listen to the generals. That's what they don't know shit.
They know plenty. They know fucking plenty, okay? They're just not sharing it with us. This is exactly their fucking plan. This is what they wanted. In my opinion, if they didn't do it themselves, it was done with Pentagon military industrial weapons, okay? Plastic, whatever.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, that's a bad scene, man. I don't know what to say, but I don't want to be cold about it, but it'll be in the news for the next 4 or 5 days, you know. And then we're going to get the families on TV, like my son. You know,
oh, they'll be out tomorrow. They'll have the families tomorrow.
Yeah, it's a wow. Just think that hadn't happened. 13 families or more could have their kids home from the Great War, 21-year-old war. How old is this war? 20 years.
Well, if the assholes in Congress did their jobs, if they gave a fuck about the soldiers, this never would have happened. They would have been out of there fucking 18 years ago.
Yeah, no doubt. But at least we got Bin Laden, huh?
Yeah. Fuck, man. I keep hearing that on TV. This is the person that was in office when they got Bin Laden. I'm like, what are you talking about?
And Saddam Hussein, too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know what to say, man. It's a sad situation. It's worse than sad. It's tragic.
It's evil. It's fucking evil, okay? And it's being done purposely on our Pentagon. They're in on the whole thing.
Yeah, war pigs. Black Sabbath, war pigs. Okay, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right, I'm going to do a show tomorrow night, so I'll talk to you then, I hope.
Okay, take care.
See ya. I have a couple videos about protesting the vaccine. Actually, I have one about their plan to give vaccines in at barber shops, and it's really weird. I'm gonna play that video in a sec here. It's really weird. I'm gonna heat up the bong. I want to have a dab. So if you'd like to have a bong hit with me, we're gonna do that here. And just momentarily, it's a 2-minute long video. But it seems really weird to me in this video how they talk about how barbershops are a place of comfort, right? I clearly have never experienced comfort in a barbershop. Now, when you go to like not a barbershop, but like, Supercuts or whatever, if the girl's kind of hot and she's rubbing up against you, it's not so much comfort that you experience as, hey, I kind of like this. That being said, I've never, ever felt comfortable in a barbershop. In fact, I pretty much have always been more or less terrified of barbershops. I hate it. The experience has been like, I don't know. I don't like these all-men clubs. Anything where it's like, oh, this is where the men go. I'm not interested where the men go. Who the fuck cares where the men go? I want to know where the poo-tang is going. That's always been my top interest. What can I tell you? All right, so let's see. I have this little 2-minute video. I'm going to heat up the bong, and then we're going to do a big, fat dab. Doesn't that sound nice? All right. They're doing vaccines in barbershop so people can feel more comfortable. I thought you would be interested in that.
If you want to get the COVID-19 vaccine but don't want to go to the pharmacy or the doctor's office, healthcare providers will bring it to you. Medical reporter Liz Bonos reports on a new program called Shots at the Shop.
Hey there, hello to you. Shots at the Shop is a national campaign. It is launched by the Black Coalition for COVID-19, the University of Maryland's Health Equity School, and many others. The goal is to bring education and vaccines to many of the places we are already going in our everyday lives. Since many people go to the barber shop or the beauty salon,
Shots at the Shop is about bringing the information on the vaccine and bringing the vaccine into our barbershops across this country.
The team here at Ohio's Hairport Barber and Beauty Studio completed extra training for this initiative and also stepped up to get the vaccine.
I was reluctant, but I educated myself and, listening to professionals and my doctors, and so that's why I got vaccinated.
With the help of local health departments, the host shops hold vaccination clinics for clients and community members.
I want our people to know you can come here in a comfortable place and get vaccinated and have fun and maybe get haircuts.
Because the barbershop is a place of comfort where most men come in, they relax, and they're willing to tell their story and share with their barber. They're willing to share things with their barber that they will not share with their doctors.
So sometimes you have to bring what's at the doctor's office to them. This program invites barbershops and hair salons to participate in the program and apply for an educational grant from Shea Moisture for training. I'm medical reporter Liz Bonus. We'll throw it back to you.
More restaurants are weighing whether to require diners to provide proof of COVID vaccination. The reservation app Open Table is partnering with the tech company Clear to use its digital vaccination verification capability. If a restaurant has a vaccination requirement, Open Table users will be notified with a banner from Clear. Clicking on it will take them to a page with instructions for signing up for a free account. Once that is done, they'll have to scan a passport or ID card and send Clear a selfie to verify identity. The program is set to launch next month.
Leeches. That's funny, Jackie Cat. Steve Martin used to do a skit on Saturday Night Live where he was a barber. That's what I needed. So sweet and tasty. All right, so let's see. All right, barbershops. The last time I went to a barbershop must have been 45 years ago, 40 years ago, 40 years ago. And I don't know why I went there. Like I said, I never felt comfortable in things. I sat down in the chair, and it's kind of like the people there, I felt like they were making fun of me, right? And the motherfucking barber clipped my ear. With the fucking clippers, he clipped my ear. You have no idea how painful that was. I mean, unless, of course, you've been to Afghanistan and got shot in the leg, and, then you probably have, a much better idea of what pain is than me. Or got your ass blow the fuck up. I thought, I don't understand who this appeals to, right? If, let's say, if by now, after a year and a half of them telling you that if you don't get the vaccine, you're an evil motherfucker. Evil. All she is evil. Most definitely. It's getting harder. I'd like to hold her head underwater. Hello, caller.
Michael. It's your boy.
What's up,
You know
G?
who it is.
Hey, man, I heard there was a hurricane in your neighborhood.
Nah, bro.
No?
That's all media hysteria.
Yeah.
You're just trying to scare us, Michael.
You know it's true.
No, and actually, in Connecticut, they got 4 inches of rain, but I didn't get dick over here, so be cool.
Right on.
Almost though. This shit missed me by not much, but it wasn't nothing. It wasn't even windy. You know, it was just a lot of rain.
Yeah.
Wasn't no Hurricane Sandy or nothing.
Yeah.
Hurricane Sandy, bro. I couldn't even get home.
Wow.
There was really, dude, I worked that day that hurricane hit. I was working at a gas station that day, right? And my boss, there was a state of emergency. It was like illegal for him to make me work, but I was still working. And then the power went out, and I called him. He's like, "Yeah, I guess you can go home." And I couldn't get home because there was trees. There was trees down. I tried getting home like 5 different ways, and there was just every way was blocked by down trees. And then I had to park in a random person's driveway and walk home. And there were like power lines with like electricity surging through them that were down.
That is seriously fucked up, dude.
Now that was some crazy shit. Now that's a hurricane.
Yeah.
This was not.
Good. Well, I was thinking about you.
Yeah, my bad. I've been fucking busy as shit.
That's all good.
And whatnot.
I figure you got a very busy schedule right now.
No, just right now it's like nuts. Moving, working, new job shit.
Yeah.
Crazy. The world's crazy and the world's blowing up around me at the same time. As it usually is. I'm not paying shit attention to the news at all.
That's really good. You know what I keep hearing on the news? We have less than 10 years before the world explodes, people.
How long have they been telling us that we're all going to blow up because of nuclear war?
Oh, we're all going to blow up because of ISIS, not nuclear war. You're not paying attention at all, are you?
No.
I'm sorry, it's not ISIS anymore. It's ISIS-K, like Special K.
Well, now we have to watch out because ISIS and the Taliban don't like each other. So there's going to be some conflict there, and then there may be some potential alliances with the Taliban. So,
I don't think so. The Taliban just kicked the only superpower in the world's asses, and now they're running out of Afghanistan with their tail between their legs. And if they can do that, I'm pretty sure they can handle ISIS.
Well, we are both of them, aren't we? Funding both of those groups.
Yep. Yeah, we've been paying the Taliban millions and millions and millions of dollars every year for over a decade.
Who's the Taliban?
What now?
The Taliban?
Taliban.
Oh, the Taliban.
Taliban.
Sorry. You said the Taliban. I didn't know who you were talking about.
Yeah, I pronounce a lot. I enunciate a lot of words very strangely.
It's all good, bro. Hey, this one's for you, Mike. I hope you can hear it. That's some tasty God.
Right on. You still getting it from your mom?
Yeah. It's the best way. my buddy that grows weed. I have a friend that grows weed in his basement, in his attic, and I ask him for weed. He's like, "Nah, I can't. It's just for me." He grows that much weed. I'm like, "Dude, are you fucking kidding me?" He's like, "I mean, I could sell you a 50 bag, but I can't sell you an ounce, dude." I'm like, what? You have 2 tents, you have 2 rooms full of marijuana. He's like, nah, that's me. That's my personal stash. Unbelievable.
That's really strange, dude. I mean, I find it hard to believe that somebody with 2 weeds of room can't spare an ounce until the next harvest,
Well, it's like, it's about the size of a tent, like a 6x6 tent. So, but even still, I mean, and I've seen his crop. I don't know, I don't know. He's just, I don't know. He's been a lifelong pot smoker. So.
Well, it's it's medicine. It's not like he's a pot smoker. He uses it as medicine. But the thing is that.
Sure he does.
Look, if you use it that long, it's clearly what you're doing, and even if you're not looking at it that way, it's making a difference for you medically. Now,
That's a good point. Yes,
yeah.
it's definitely
So
I forget what comedian it was, but it's like older potheads are like, I need this shit. And so yeah, it is. It becomes your medicine. But yeah, I do. I mean,
it helps with everything, man.
Makes a tremendous difference in life. Yeah,
it's just like that Bright Side commercial.
God damn, I love that commercial.
I love that commercial so much, dude.
Isn't it great?
I just hope it's not like, oh my God, this again. But I mean, I'm gonna play that commercial forever.
Symptoms are increased sensitivity to musical dopeness.
It is so awesome. So how are you fitting in at the new place?
Well, it's good because it doesn't have cockroaches, so that's cool.
Any cute girls?
No.
Oh well.
But they're all at work.
Well, yeah, good.
I just gotta, walk a tightrope around there, but
Well, that can be a little tricky. Work is, you try to keep it away from work, but if
I got burned so bad once that I'm very, it got real awkward for me once.
Yeah.
It's best to stay away from that shit.
Yeah. So, but it's nice that there's attractive ladies around anyways. I always enjoy that. So, how big is your new place?
It's pretty good, but it's bigger than my place now. 850 square feet, third floor.
Right.
Hybrid movers. I said, fuck that shit. I'm paying like $1,000 to get some motherfucking movers come in and move all my shit.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that shit again.
Yeah.
Fucking lame, because I already did that shit twice.
It's very stressful, so better not to do it if you can avoid it.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, bro, you guys want some beers or some weed while you're moving? I imagine they probably get that all the time if I was a mover.
I wouldn't give people that, but money is always good. You just ask them. So is tipping?
You wouldn't want someone to offer you a beer or a joint while you're moving their couch or something?
No,
I'm gonna be the cool guy. I'm gonna be the cool client.
Number one, I always have my own weed. So it's not like I'm looking for it from someone else. And if I was doing that job, I'd have a little vape, that I can go poof poof, and move on doing my job. I wouldn't. So, and I don't need anybody's fucking permission. So, but no, I wouldn't want that. I would much prefer, someone to say, so is it appropriate to tip at the end of the job? And they go, fuck, yes it is. Okay, well I got you covered, guys. Don't worry.
What can I say? I'm a courteous gentleman.
I would offer them a soda. You want a soda or a bottle of water?
So kind, Michael.
I do it to everyone. I always do it. Craig has people come over all the time for different stuff, business, to play craps, all that stuff, right? And have you seen his new craps table?
Craps, huh?
Yeah, you should ask him to show it to you. Has people come over all the time.
How to play craps.
Oh, well, he'll teach you. He has people come over all the time, and I have to ask him, hey, would you like something to drink? Because for whatever reason. So I am courteous, motherfucker, and it has nothing to do with anything like, I'm trying to get something out of somebody. I'm just like, I like people to be comfortable. Like you said, it would make them feel comfortable.
That's what I'm saying, Michael.
I know, but I think that if you offer them a soda or a bottle of water, that's being very courteous.
I think a beer would be more appreciated. I think he's a more blue-collar type of guy.
Well, I think it might be a little bit different attitude on the East Coast about beer, because I know that in New York, if you're a union chef, you're a union cook in New York, you get 2 beers per shift. So it's, So it's kind of probably viewed a little bit differently on the East Coast. I'm all for do what you want to do, but I'm not real big on alcohol, and I don't know that I want somebody who's drinking alcohol handling my important things in the middle of
Not as drunk as me. No, certainly not.
So.
But yeah, you're right. We like it raw out here on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby, I like it raw. The Wu-Tang Clan. Shout out Wu-Tang.
You watch any good movies?
Good movies.
Well, you said you're not watching the news.
Not,
Can't really.
Not really. I
Yeah?
was watching Fear Street
Yeah.
on Netflix.
Is that a series or a movie?
I don't know. It's a movie trilogy on Netflix. It was pretty good. Did you ever see the Buster Scruggs thing I told you about on Netflix? I know Craig watched it.
Oh, yeah. No, I didn't see it.
It's good. Check it out.
Okay. Is it a cartoon?
No, it sounds like it would be, but it's a Western. But it's like I don't know. I don't want to say Pulp Fiction-y, but it's like a couple different stories.
Oh, okay. Sounds interesting.
You know, it's like four little stories in one movie. They don't intertwine like in Pulp Fiction, but kind of like that. It's pulpish, very Western pulpish. You'd like it. I think you'd like it.
I gotta go watch Pulp Fiction now.
Foot massage. Give him a foot massage. Give him a massage. That's some sensual shit.
So funny, dude. It's so funny for something so serious, you know?
I mean, God, some of the best movies ever.
Yeah. It blew my mind.
Didn't he say he's making one more movie and then he's retiring?
I heard
That's
him.
what I heard.
Like when he started getting famous, he said, I'm going to make 17 movies or something like that. Like 13, 17.
Yeah, he's going to.
And
he's coming to his cutoff point pretty soon.
I heard there was a new Kill Bill coming out, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah, that's right. Now that you say that, you're right.
Yeah. So that might be interesting.
I can get down with that.
Fuck yeah.
He hasn't made a bad. I mean, how many directors have like never made a bad movie? He doesn't have any. He really doesn't.
Well, that guy who made the Nobody movie, he also made Hardcore Henry. Have you seen that?
Fuck. You keep reminding me of that. I want to see it too. I bet I would like it.
It's all shot first person. I've never seen a movie like it.
I know. I've seen it. I've seen previews for it. It was good. Yeah.
Oh man, it's just nonstop. Just nonstop. Not for 1 second does that movie slow down.
Every time I call you, I'm high and I forget.
That's the two movies that director made. You know, he made Nobody and he made Hardcore Henry, and I think that he has a brilliant future ahead. So he may be the next guy who doesn't make a shitty movie. Let's find out, shall we?
I've been doing more TV series. Honestly, I haven't been big on. And like old school shit, like catching up on old HBO series.
You have the Prime?
So, the Max.
Yeah, you don't have the Prime.
Fucking Netflix, bro. It's costs about the same as Netflix, and it's exponentially better in terms of content.
The what? Yeah,
HBO.
Amazon Prime. You don't have that?
Oh shit. Amazon. No, I don't have Amazon.
Oh, okay. They have some good stuff on there. They have a giant catalog, so if you're looking for another one, they got a giant.
Yeah, I gotta flip through these things. I'm burning out on the HBO shit, so I'll probably once I burn out.
I don't even
my HBO content.
I don't even like that HBO Max channel, man. But you know what? The only thing good about it is like once every other month they come out with like a theater release at the same time the theater is releasing it, and you go, oh,
how dare you? How dare you say that?
That's the
Not
only thing good about it. Zero. I looked. I want something
Wrong.
that's good. It's not good.
You don't like, okay, we're talking, dude, movie content, they got a way better movie selection than almost any online streaming service.
What?
We're talking series? In terms of series, bro, we're talking Game of Thrones, we're talking The Wire, Sopranos, fucking you name it, Boardwalk Empire. Come on, bro. These are great series we're talking.
Okay. I don't know. I'm looking for kung fu movies and cartoons. I know they have some Bugs Bunny cartoons on there that are brand new.
HBO Max is the only place where you can watch every South Park episode.
That's not true. You can go to southpark.com. No, I'm sorry.
You can do that too, but I'm talking about
southparkstudios.com, and you can watch every episode for free.
There or HBO. That's like the only places you can watch it, I think.
Well, that's really good because I want that collection to be available everywhere. So, because it's almost an eye-opening thing. Like you watch this and you understand the way the world works better.
I know I'm probably pissing everybody off right now, but if you had to recommend a season for South Park, because they have so many, and I have to catch up, I'm not sure which ones are the best.
Well, there's
any recommendations?
Yeah,
I think I left off on like season 13 or something.
Look, the ones there, you know Man Bear Pig, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was watching during that. That's an old one though.
Al Gore comes back. Like in the last 2 or 3 years, Al Gore comes back, and so does Man Bear Pig, and it's a two episode Al Gore event, and it's fucking brilliant, man. So, and I told you about that season is really good, and I told you the one with it's all really fucking amazing work, but the newer stuff is like sometimes stuff gets dated. Like it just doesn't work anymore, like the way it did 10 years ago. So the newer stuff it doesn't have that feeling at all, So.
Oh, so you think the older shit's a little bit better?
No, I think the newer stuff in general is a little bit easier to relate to, and it's just more in the moment. But I think all of it's fucking brilliant, and it's eye-opening, and it shows you how the world works beyond almost anything else on TV,
Yeah, it's amazing in the cancel culture that they're like immune. They can't be touched.
Not this most recent season, but which was only two 1-hour specials, but the season before that and the season before that, at the end when they're doing the credits, it says in the background, it says cancel South Park. Every single episode for 2 seasons. You say cancel culture. That always makes me think of that. It's like, go ahead, motherfuckers, do it. Cancel South Park.
Yeah, I mean, they had the Indiana Jones getting raped scene by George Lucas on the pinball machine, like in that movie. What the fuck movie was it? It's gonna drive me nuts.
That's kind of partially what I'm talking about.
That's the scene that I'm talking about. I mean, if they can get away with that, then I mean, they've already.
Do you see
everything is just tame compared to.
You see the one with
the borders that they've already crossed.
With the Harley riders. It's called the F word or the other F word or something. Yeah, the other F word. The Harley riders. No, you didn't see that.
Oh no.
The other F word. Fucking, they're so good.
All right, I'm gonna have to check those out.
Yeah, but definitely see if you can find the Al Gore 2-part episode, because it's fucking great. So, all right, so I hope that you're enjoying work and that you look forward to like many years on the new job, man.
Right on. Thanks, brother. Hey, this one's for you, Michael.
You got anything to say about? You got anything to say about? Do you believe a single word the Pentagon says?
I believe everything the Pentagon says. They have no agenda. Why would they lie to anybody?
They have never led anyone astray in their entire service to our country.
No, they're all innocent people, all innocent, just well-intentioned people there. So don't worry about it, everyone. We're cool. You just trust the government, everything's going to be fine.
You should call more often, Pete.
It doesn't matter. I mean, all these wars create jobs, people, and we all need jobs, right? So look at it that way.
That's the way you're supposed to look at it. If you have any kind of awareness, then you go, well, it creates a lot. If you have the awareness that people are getting blown up, little children, in your name with your tax dollars, you go, yeah, but it creates a lot of jobs for people.
It doesn't really. It's a tremendous void and suck on our national debt and so forth.
If we took all that money and put
money that could be well spent in other areas.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Much neglected areas.
Yeah.
So.
And they fucking can't.
I'm just fucking around. I'm just yanking your bowl bag.
They can't.
Just fucking with you.
They can't succeed at anything, man. It's like they're a bunch of fuck ups. They're supposed to be the most strategic minds on the planet, and they can't achieve anything.
Yeah, it's either that or they're just not. They're not trying to achieve anything. They're just trying to.
What it is
justify perpetuation of the endless war out there.
Right. What it is, they have.
Oh my God, the airport got attacked. Well, here we go.
Right. Exactly.
So that's what's up.
Well, it's good to hear from you, bro. I'm always nice to hear from you, and like I said, I hope that you call back more often. Now that you're settled.
Yeah, sorry, bro.
Now that you're
shit, but I'll be settled in pretty soon.
Okay.
I got the movers coming in tomorrow.
Oh, good.
So.
All right, bro.
Soon.
Okay, I'll talk to you soon. I hope.
All right, Doc. Praise Allah. Tickle your dead bullseye.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to play this Kennedy video for you while I heat up my tea, and you should have a little discussion amongst yourself about what's being said on this video, because it's fucking not said anywhere else in the news, and it's very frustrating that this isn't the dialogue of discussion, because this is what's really happening. Okay? So I'm going to play that for you now and go heat up my tea, and I will be back momentarily with something really good. Okay? What number is this? Number 9. Number 9. Number 9. Number 9.
There's this weird thing where people keep saying, is Joe Biden consulting with the experts, the defense and intelligence experts? I hope he isn't, because they're the ones who created this mess. At this point, after multi-decades of seeing what U.S. foreign policy under the direction of defense and intelligence agencies has looked like, trusting them to continue to give us guidance on what we should be doing here is like still continuing to trust Fauci when it comes to COVID. Like, they have demonstrated that they are at best inept and at worst bad actors. And again, let's be clear. The U.S. intelligence and defense community has demonstrated a willingness and eagerness to arm its own enemies starting in the 1950s, the 1960s, the 1970s, the 1980s, the 1990s, the 2000s, and the 2010s. And yet it is a crackpot conspiracy theory to think that it might still be happening now. It seems very interesting that at a time that the U.S. is pulling out, that suddenly ISIS appears and starts killing dozens of people. We need to end the authorization of use of military force. Yes. The war powers need to put back in the hands of Congress and of the people, and we need to completely relook at how we've been doing foreign policy for decades now, not just post 9/11, but really post Operation Ajax in the 1950s. We need to end the military-industrial complex. We need to bring the troops home, and we need to stop this expeditionary foreign policy that has ended and ruined so many lives.
If not now, when?
We are back with more on today's deadly terror attack in Afghanistan. President Biden finally took some questions from reporters. It was a pre-approved list. Before scurrying back into hiding, our very own Peter Doocy finally had a tough one for him. There you go.
Mr. President, there had not been a U.S. service member killed in combat in Afghanistan since February of 2020. You set a deadline, you pulled troops out, you sent troops back in, and now 12 Marines are dead. You said the buck stops with you. Do you bear any responsibility for the way that things have unfolded in the last 2 weeks?
I bear responsibility for fundamentally all that's happened of late. But here's the deal. You know, I wish you'd one day say these things. You know as well as I do that the former president made a deal with the Taliban.
So it's Trump's fault. That's a good one. Buck really stops with you, buddy. The party panel is back. Gary Hoffman, Jessica Tarlov, and Spike Cohen. That was the strangest exchange, Gary.
Yeah, good for Peter for asking that question. I was surprised because the president didn't appear to know his name. He knew everybody else's name because apparently that pre-written list of who he was going to call on. And he was told, or he at least admitted that he was instructed on who to call and in what order. To me, that's as strange as the answer was to Peter's question.
Yes, because that is a pre-constructed list. Jen Psaki has contacted all the reporters and said, okay, what are you going to ask? If it's a good question, I'll put you on the list. I couldn't believe that they called on Peter, and I don't think he really answered the question, because if you're taking responsibility, Jessica, the first thing you do is not blame the other guy, because believe it or not, the Bush and Obama administrations bear as much of the burden as President Biden here.
I mean, arguably more, since it was under those administrations that we got deeper into this versus pulling out. But the first thing Biden did say is that he fundamentally bears responsibility for everything that's happened as of late. I was actually surprised that he went that far. And to the administration's credit, in terms of question taking, Jen Psaki and Peter Doocy kind of have like a frenemies thing going on, to the point that they're writing articles about their little press corps meets in the daily briefing. And she calls on him every day. And the president has a similar relationship from the campaign trail to when Peter tracked him down while he was out for a bike ride and the president talked to him. So I don't know. I wasn't that shocked by it, and I wasn't shocked by the response there. I have been extremely critical of the administration.
It was weird, the back and forth, and then the president is asking people to raise their hands. It's like, come on, man. To coin a dotard.
Listen, I love the word dotard as a sidebar moment there. But again, I have been critical of the administration on this. I have a piece coming out tomorrow that is also critical of the administration. But especially talking to two libertarians on the panel here, highlighting the fact that this is a problem that has gone on for 20 years and that this president refuses to hand it over to a fifth president, which is where this would continue if he didn't finish the deal that Mike Pompeo and Donald Trump put together, is an important piece of this puzzle, and the American public deserves the entire story. Now, is that the exact moment to do it? Maybe not, but that is important context to what's going on here.
You know what he could have done, which he did with the Iran nuclear deal and the Paris Climate Accord? He could have either gotten back in, or he could have changed the terms, Spike. This is not a congressional treaty.
Yeah, he did change the terms, but in like the worst possible way. He actually extended the deadline and still did nothing to plan forward of getting Americans and Afghan allies out of there. This is interesting with Joe Biden, that there's this weird thing where people keep saying, is Joe Biden consulting with the experts, the defense and intelligence experts? I hope he isn't, because they're the ones who created this mess. At this point, after multi-decades of seeing what U.S. foreign policy under the direction of defense and intelligence intelligence agencies has looked like. Trusting them to continue to give us guidance on what we should be doing here is like still continuing to trust Fauci when it comes to COVID. Like, they have demonstrated that they are at best inept and at worst bad actors. And again, let's be clear. The U.S. intelligence and defense community has demonstrated a willingness and eagerness to arm its own enemies starting in the 1950s, the 1960s, the 1970s, the 1980s, the 1990s, the 2000s, and the 2010s. And yet it is a crackpot conspiracy theory to think that it might still be happening now. It seems very interesting that at a time that the U.S. is pulling out, that suddenly ISIS appears and starts killing dozens of people.
What would you do if you were president to the people who killed those Marines and Navy medic?
Number one, the first thing I would do is end the continued occupation overseas. That is what creates the blowback. That's what creates the catalyst for them to even have people who are willing to do suicide bombings in the first place. And then number two, we would find out who did it, and we would work to bring them to justice. But the continued treating of symptoms that are being created by this foreign policy, all we're going to be doing is treating symptoms. And we're going to end up having future 9/11s. We're going to end up having future World Trade Center attacks. We're going to end up having future USS Coles and things like this.
I talked with an Army Ranger earlier this week, and he said the same thing about blowback. He said, you know, you have created generations of new terrorists, and he put it squarely on the drone attacks in Afghanistan. Well, much more.
The CIA.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. The CIA coined the term blowback. That's their term. They're the ones who said that this would happen.
And now they're selling opium. It's very exciting. All right, the Afghanistan debacle, it isn't just President Trump's fault. According to the Biden administration, it's also the fault of the American people. Here's Secretary of State Antony Blinken blaming Americans stuck behind enemy lines for their own predicament. Watch.
Given the security situation in Afghanistan, for many years, we have urged Americans not to travel there. Since March of this year, we've sent 19 separate messages to Americans enrolled with the embassy in Kabul, encouraging and then urging them to leave the country. We even made clear that we would help pay for their repatriation. There could be other Americans in Afghanistan who never enrolled with the embassy, who ignored public evacuation notices, and have not yet identified themselves to us.
Yeah, seems like the White House and the State Department spend more time making excuses for their mistakes than actually fixing them. So if you were an American in Afghanistan, would you tell Antony Blinken to eat glass? Gary.
Sure, if I felt like he was going to get the message. I just feel like he's tone deaf to the people who are in Afghanistan. And unfortunately, he being the face of foreign policy for the United States is going to be the guy who gets to walk around and congratulate those people who have been repatriated. He's going to fly around the country and potentially the world and glad hand and welcome the people who are able to get out, ignoring the fact that when Tuesday comes, when this deadline comes, it's inevitable that there will be Americans and Afghans who deserve to and want to and have applied to get out of that country that are still going to be there in harm's way. And it's not going to be because they didn't heed the warnings or a tweet from U.S. Embassy Kabul. It's because it's a dangerous place to live, and we're going to let them down.
It's like someone who takes a tinkle on you after they set you on fire, and then they expect you to thank them for drinking a gallon of iced tea, Jessica.
It's exactly like that, Kennedy. You took the words right out of my mouth. Listen, this isn't just like, it's so complicated. And I know that that sounds so basic, and I don't want to be that girl that's like, oh my God, this is so hard. But this is so hard. And I think that what's going on now, especially dealing with this in our hyper-partisan times, and that's why I was so heartened, even though maybe I don't necessarily agree with the decision that Congressman Meyer and Moulton made, but they went in a bipartisan way. And that's, I know that you did, but I'm just, you know, I got a little Pelosi in me, as you know.
I got a little bit of give it to people in power who've screwed everything up. You know what? Don't ask for permission. And screw those people. Screw Nancy Pelosi. Screw Joe Biden. Screw Lloyd Austin, wherever the hell he is. Screw them all, because they're all a bunch of crooks and liars and phonies. And if there are two people brave enough to go over there and really assess what's going on and tell people straightforwardly, thank God. I want to. If you have 10 seconds, and then I got to go to Spike. Go ahead.
Well, just that I was net in favor of it, especially because they had served. And I think that listening to veterans is the most important thing that we can do right now. And I'll leave it at that because
Spike, who's going to pay the price for this politically?
The same people who always pay the price: veterans, active duty troops, and civilians. He's acting, and Blinken is acting like they were there on vacation. They were embassy workers. They were there doing the hard work, knowing that things were wrapping up and doing their job to the best of their ability. And now he's saying, oh, you should have left early. This is absolute nonsense. I'm glad that Representative Meyer and his Democratic colleague went over there and take heed of what he said. We need to end the authorization of use of military force. Yes. The war powers need to put back in the hands of Congress and of the people. And we need to completely relook at how we've been doing foreign policy for decades now, not just post 9/11, but really post Operation Ajax in the 1950s. We need to end the military industrial complex. We need to bring the troops home, and we need to stop this expeditionary foreign policy that has ended and ruined so many lives.
If not now, when? Gary, Jessica, Spike, great job tonight. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye, Kennedy.
Bye.
There's this weird thing where people keep saying, is Joe Biden consulting with the experts, the defense and intelligence experts? I hope he isn't, because they're the ones who created this mess. At this point, after multi-decades of seeing what U.S. foreign policy under the direction of defense and intelligence agencies has looked like, trusting them to continue to give us guidance on what we should be doing here is like still continuing to trust Fauci when it comes to COVID. Like, they have demonstrated that they are at best inept and at worst bad actors. And again, let's be clear. The U.S. intelligence and defense community has demonstrated a willingness and eagerness to arm its own enemies starting in the 1950s, the 1960s, the 1970s, the 1980s, the 1990s, the 2000s, and the 2010s. And yet it is a crackpot conspiracy theory to think that it might still be happening now. It seems very interesting that at a time that the U.S. is pulling out, that suddenly ISIS appears and starts killing dozens of people. That suddenly ISIS appears and starts killing dozens of people. That suddenly ISIS appears and starts killing dozens of people. That suddenly ISIS...
All right, so that gave me just enough time to finish off my last cup of tea and make another cup of tea. It was kind of a long clip, but like I said, you just don't see that kind of a discussion. Not that it was all anti-Pentagon, but that there was some anti-Pentagon shit in there, and you never hear that, Oh, all of a sudden ISIS appears. Have you heard that on the news anywhere? Oh, all of a sudden ISIS appears. The only thing he left off was how convenient. Okay? Because that's what the facts are. Oh, it's so, who... I always say, cui bono, who benefits, right? Who benefits? Doesn't seem like anybody benefits here, but gives the green light to the Pentagon to proceed how they see fit, which is what they want over, that's what the Pentagon has always done. That's what they're going to continue to do. The guy's talking about how obviously the Pentagon is more than happy to arm both sides of the conflict, our enemies. They've been giving the Taliban millions and millions and millions of dollars for decades. I'm sorry, not decades, for over a decade. And we have to have the discussion about how evil this is, about how evil the Pentagon is. This was just a tiny bit, in my opinion, of what that discussion needs to be. And when I say a tiny bit, I'm not talking about the whole clip. I'm talking about this guy with the glasses who definitely should be in, on, a loud voice on what should happen with this rogue Pentagon, with this evil force that we're paying to go out and murder innocent people on a regular basis. And all they care about is keeping that operation going, right? Like I keep saying, they have to drop bombs on something because the bombs that are being made back in the United States, are completed now, and they need a place to put them. And if they don't drop the bombs they already have, they won't have a place to put the new bombs. And if the new bombs have to sit at the factory where they get them, then they won't have a place the space to make more new bombs. Because we have to be prepared. And this cycle will not end unless the people come together and recognize our common enemy, which is the U.S. government. That is our true and only threat to our personal freedom. It's the only threat to our personal freedom is the United States government. Okay? And that's our representative government. We have to somehow take it back, including the Pentagon, including the CIA, including the FBI, including this all-intrusive, over-intrusive, comply or die police state. We have to take it back. It's not up to them that this is how we're going to do things with guns and batons and tear gas and rubber bullets and flashbang grenades. It's not up to them to decide that. Okay? It's up to us to say this is not the country we want. This is not the land of the free. And you pieces of shit in the goddamn media better start respecting the land of the free and the people there who choose above all else freedom. Because what else would you do in the land of the free except for choose for your life to be about that? Because you have that opportunity. They say all the time, people around the country around the world don't have this opportunity to live their lives freely, right? This is why we must come together and stand up against this government, which is the only true threat to our freedom, our personal freedom, my freedom, your freedom. And as far as I can tell, except for back in the days of the British and the savages all over the country, North America, Native Americans, we've never had a threat to our personal freedom except for this government. Hello, caller.
Hello. Hi, I don't really know how to say this, but this is Randy over at the Pentagon. Got a call from the guys over at the FBI saying you got a problem with us over here at the Pentagon.
That is the understatement. That is the understatement of the year. The Pentagon.
And what's your problem with the Pentagon?
Pentagon is filled with war criminals and war profiteers. That's my problem with the Pentagon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of hearsay. You have some facts to dispute this case that you're working with over there at your headquarters. I'm over here at the fucking Pentagon.
Uh-huh.
You know what this fucking place looks like? Looks like basically an octagon. We're ready to fight. I don't know.
You
what
mean
the
an
fuck
octagon?
You're thinking.
An octagon like a 5-pointed star with a circle around
it? We're ready to get
it?
in the octagon and beat the shit out of some people. That's our job.
Yeah.
You got a problem with that? What are you fucking hugging some trees or some shit? We're over here at the fucking Pentagon smoking cigarettes and drinking coffee currently right now. We don't have really any shit to do.
I heard you like to drink shots of vodka out of each other's buttholes.
Yeah, that's a rumor. We had a couple of the fucking guys back in the day. They did some weird shit like that. They don't work here anymore. They pretty much, they're fucking living on the streets doing that.
Yeah, okay.
Repeatedly. I don't recommend it. It's not a way of life that I would choose to live. I just murder people for a living. It's kind of fun. That deserve it.
Yeah, it's like a video. It's like a video game, huh?
Huh?
It's like a video game, huh?
And we got drones and shit. It's kind of fun sometimes. Done that, but it gets kind of boring because you're not really there live in the action. And I just want to let you know that over here at the Pentagon, we know exactly what we're doing. You know this.
Yes, I know that you know exactly what you're doing. You have the most military strategic minds in the world.
All right, sir, can you listen?
No, I cannot. You are not in charge of me.
This is your show.
You are not in charge of me.
You realize that you have a little respect for the Pentagon when they call you.
No.
I mean, how often do you get to talk to the fucking Pentagon?
Well,
Straight
apparently
up?
more
We're
than
in a
I would
time of fucking distress here in the world.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and we need a
When
real
are we
war
not?
to go into.
When are we not?
Yes, we do.
According to the Pentagon,
and the only way,
when are we not in a time of stress?
The only way we can do this war is if we actually leave all of our military equipment there for them to have something to use.
Obviously.
So when we go back in there and fucking destroy them, at least they had some tools. Okay. So
They're prepared
I
somewhat.
don't know what the fuck you tree hugging motherfuckers want from us over here at the Pentagon, but that's what we do.
Yeah, I like hugging trees. Just loved hugging trees.
Dude, hug a tree and fucking cry a tear because there's going to be people that are going to die. I'm just letting you know. This is Randy over here at the Pentagon. Got a call from the buddies over at the FBI. We
fuck the FBI.
We're kind of a fan now too of you guys. We'll look into you guys a little more over here, Pentagon. Get in touch with the CIA and the ATF.
You know exactly who I am. The Pentagon knows exactly who I am. Okay. Long before there was ever a YouTube, the Pentagon knew exactly who I am.
Technically, we're just finding this out, but I'm going to get through to the ATF because you're definitely on some alcohol and some tobacco, sir.
Okay.
And you might own a firearm.
Okay.
For all I know.
I do not. I've explained that repeatedly. I'm not interested in firearms.
Hey, it's my break time, so I got to go. I got to go smoke some cigarettes and drink some coffee. So fuck you.
Okay, good.
Okay, bye.
Bye. What is wrong with these people in the Pentagon? Too much coffee, too much cigarettes. I don't know if it's possible to have too much coffee, but I am willing to try. You remember that scene in Stripes, right? Where they're talking to the recruiter, and he says, are either one of you homosexuals? And they look over at each other like all goo-goo eyes. And Bill Murray says, or Harold Ramis, one of them says, looks at him and he says, you mean like flaming? And he says, no, it's just a question I have to ask. He said, is there a special place you send for that? You send us for that? I love that movie. If you haven't seen that movie, you're really missing out. Where were we? Right. Unfortunately, that is not the way the Pentagon works. Although, no, that's not the way the Pentagon works. If it was, people probably would be happy to sign up for, shits and giggles. Army training, sir. Let's see. We played the barbershop video. We played the Kennedy video. I don't think I have another Kennedy. I don't have another Kennedy video just at the moment. But I'll have one tomorrow. I'll have one tomorrow at least. She doesn't do a show on Friday, but I got a special one picked out. Let's see. Parents. Did I play that one? No. Parents want to be in charge of whether or not their children get vaccinated. Do you think that's fair? What do you think? Do you think the Pentagon thinks that's fair? The Pentagon just ordered all personnel, all soldiers, and all of the military, service, all soldiers, to get vaccinated. They have to get a lot of vaccines. We've talked to Bronze Star Brandon repeatedly, and he says, yeah, you got to get vaccines. He talked about getting the anthrax vaccine. The anthrax vaccine is I played a video. I posted a video. I played a video on the show. I posted a video of this woman who is a career military personnel, and she got the anthrax vaccine repeatedly, and she's suing the government over it and saying that they use it as a punishment because she went into the hospital twice after getting it. and they said that she said that they used it as a punishment because she was, you know, someone who was speaking out, whistleblower. There you go. Someone who was speaking out, a whistleblower. So, and it's really sad that this is where we're at. You know, that you don't have any decisions on anything anymore. This is what I'm talking about. There's only one true threat to your freedom, and that's the United States government. And if we don't reel them back in, it's going to become worse and worse. I mean, it only has become worse. I mean, I'm telling you that in the 1970s, there was much more freedom going on than there is now. At least that's the way I remember it. So there's just no doubt in my mind. So this should be something that is great concern, right? If they're headed this direction of less and less and less and less freedom, when are you going to stop it? When are we going to come together and have the discussion about how do we stop this? How do we turn it around? How do we make the land of the free about freedom again? Because that seems to be the last thing that the land of the free is about anymore. Unless it's freedom to make money, right? That's the American dream, baby. Go make a big fat stack of cash. I can rub my ass in. Where's my beautiful baby? Where's my beautiful baby? Wait. There's my beautiful baby. What a beautiful baby. Okay, so I'm going to play another video because we are not getting any phone callers, and I have this video about parents' right to choose whether their children get vaccinated or not. And I thought that we should, you know, make sure that that discussion is continuing, because you don't hear this in the mainstream media. You don't hear people, all you hear is, oh, I'm so glad I did it. And, oh, you're so lucky that you can get the booster. You know, it's not any kind of, hey, you know, I'm not sure. And this one, I believe, is also about the first responders. The first responders, this is what I keep saying, the first responders are having issues with getting the vaccine, you know. The ambulance people, the EMTs, the nursing home people, the nurses, you know, firefighters, police officers. These are all front lines. These people have probably all seen people that were having some kind of COVID type related issues. And especially the nurses and the nursing home people, right? The nursing home people were the first ones to, the elderly people were the first ones to get the vaccines, and then it was immediately offered after that to the workers at the nursing homes, and now what they're saying is that the nursing homes have a very low rate of vaccinated workers. And again, they're the ones who saw this close up. They're the ones who saw it from the beginning. So why would they be hesitant, right? Why? You have to ask. Police officers, you know, police officers are all about protecting themselves all the time. I feared for my life. I had to protect myself, right? The guy was holding a ballpoint pen, so I shot him because I feared for my life. 17-year-old on his way home from school. So the cops fear for their life constantly. You would think, right, if somebody who feared for their life constantly thought this was going to protect them, that they would immediately get it done, no questions asked, right? They're the cops, they follow the rules. But apparently they're having a problem with cops getting vaccinated, nurses, cops, EMT, Firefighters, right? Somebody has an accident. Firefighters go to their house. You know, they can't breathe. Firefighters rush in. You know, that's where a lot of the first responders. Again, firefighters are often the first responders when you call an ambulance. You know, so they're saying no. I'm not going to do that. And I think that's really super important information. And I'm going to play that video for you now. Ready? Here we go.
Tonight at 9, I'm David Rose.
And I'm Jamie Tompkins. In order to be fully vaccinated by October 18th, unvaccinated employees will need to roll up their sleeves soon or face termination. And that decision could greatly impact response from first responders in one South Sound County.
Q13. Sorry about that, Jamie. Q13 News reporter Olivia LaVoice is in Tacoma.
It's a position Tacoma firefighter paramedic Alexander McNeely never thought he'd be in.
It took me 5 years to get my job, and I'm going to turn it down because you're going to make me do something.
McNeely says he's chosen not to get the vaccine because he feels it was rushed, and he says he feels safe enough using the fire department's rigorous safety protocols and PPE.
I totally understand why people want to. I totally understand why people don't want to, and I think that's what makes this country great, is that we're supposed to have freedom of choice. And when that gets taken away, it just feels very, very wrong.
He says he contemplated getting it so he could keep his job, but ultimately decided he doesn't want to be forced into it.
If Jay doesn't change his mind and it's vaccinate or terminate, then if I can't make it due to medical exemptions, then I would terminate. I'd have to go seek employment elsewhere.
And McNeely isn't alone.
Right now, we're looking at about upwards of 30% of our department being impacted by the mandate.
Allison Heinzman, president of the union that represents 412 Tacoma firefighter paramedics, says a survey showed 100 members do not want to get vaccinated.
Whether or not you've vaccinated, on October 19th, any loss of members is going to impact the body as a whole, because that workload will need to be picked up. And what does that look like? What does that look like to our community, our response times, our services available? The larger picture here, I don't believe was considered when this mandate first came out.
Heinzman says Tacoma Fire's workload is already overwhelming due to brush fires and increased medical calls because of COVID. And she says it's not just Tacoma Fire facing this issue.
Speaking with other local leaders in Pierce County, we're all looking at close to 30% impact to the county, which is a huge number.
Our department is big enough that I don't think we'll see a mass exodus that's going to impact our ability to operate, but I don't believe that's true for every department.
Chief Sharp of West Pierce Fire and Rescue says 70% of his department is already vaccinated, but for the 30% that isn't.
It is very, very unfortunate that our employees are having to make pretty substantial career decisions in a pretty short amount of time, and it was really kind of unanticipated.
Olivia LaVoice, Q13 News.
Well, the governor's mandate does allow for a religious and medical exemption, but Heinzman says the departments haven't been given any guidance, so they're not sure what exactly will qualify.
Heinzman says she's written to the governor's office asking them to make exceptions to the vaccine mandate. The response she received reads in part, quote, "We deeply considered requests for a test-out option, listened to stakeholders, engaged local leaders, and ultimately determined it is infeasible and ineffective to address the crisis at hand." We've got that governor's full statement on our website, Q13Fox.com. We still don't have exact numbers on kids in the hospital, but health officials say they are seeing, quote, uncomfortable numbers. The Department of Health also learned of yet another pediatric death yesterday. From health officials to families in our region, Jamie, the focus is really turning to trying to keep kids safe.
Yeah, especially when it comes to the start of the new school year. Every family has a whole lot to consider. And for the Santos family, it is really down to the wire. School starts tomorrow, and Dad Terrence tells me his 6-year-old is too young to get vaccinated. He really did, though, consider sending his son to first grade in person, but then he considered lunchtime and snack time when kids will have to remove their masks to eat. And he said while it's nice outside now, eventually the weather will change and kids will have to eat inside.
That's probably the weakest point in the link in terms of when children will be at most danger in terms of possibly getting infected with the virus. So that was discouraging. Also snack time, another time of the day where their masks will all be off, would be handled outdoors, but we know here that outdoor anything in terms of, especially for meals, is only going to last for so much longer. So that's going to be brought indoors here soon too. So that was concerning.
So what I hear is again, oh, the kids, so what they're doing is they're setting up the fear. This is what they do. Oh, look, the case rates among teenagers are skyrocketing. Oh, look, the vaccine's available for teenagers. They're going now, oh, look, my children, I'm so concerned about this, about my children getting infected in the vaccine, and the vaccine's not available yet. And it's all kind of a setup, right? For, oh, now the vaccine's available for my child. Yay! Yeah, I've been waiting so long. Now I can feel as if I'm protected. And it's all like a setup by the news. And it's one of these big reasons why I despise the news so much, local, wherever. They're all in on it. Again, the first responders, right? The first responders are having an issue with this happening. Firefighters, police officers, EMT, ambulance people. The list goes on. Nurses, right? Nursing home staff. These are people that should not be questioning. That should be very concerned about getting themselves protected, as we keep hearing, in order to protect their family and those around them. And, right, the nurses are having, I played these videos for you, the nurses are having a problem with the whole thing. And the reason I bring it up is because we keep hearing this stuff about the what?
It's raining.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Do you want to move your plants?
No, the plants haven't gotten any water because the hose is unhooked, so maybe it'll get some water this way. So the nurses are having an issue getting vaccinated. I played multiple videos on this live show, not this particular one, but this, our normal broadcast. And they're out picketing in the street saying, my body, my choice. And again, they're the front lines. They've seen the most of this. And what I keep hearing on the news is that the hospitals are overflowing with patients. Oh, we're not going to be able to do any surgeries right now because we just have so many COVID patients. I'm not saying they do or they don't, but they're trying to get you to believe that that's the fault of the unvaccinated. Because all these people have chosen not to get vaccinated. Now the hospitals are beyond capacity. Right? Well, then why are nurses choosing not to get vaccinated? Right? If it's this horrible, stressed out thing that's happening to the poor healthcare workers, why would nurses have a problem helping out all their fellow brethren, medical employees? Why would they have a problem with that? Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. You have to, and you connect these dots, and it will never make sense. It will never add up. It will never make a picture unless that picture is of something like a dollar sign, because that seems to be where it all leads back to, unless it's something much more sinister. Who knows? My guess is we will begin to find out soon. Something I'm absolutely not looking forward to. If you think this exit in Afghanistan is bad, which it is, again, right? Who does this benefit? Ask yourself. All of a sudden, ISIS is appearing. All of a sudden, out of nowhere. When's the last time you heard ISIS? Oh, I'm sorry, ISIS-K. I'm not getting any phone callers. The number's right there on the screen. I'm not getting any phone callers. And I had a dab. We had a big fat puff together. It was a fat puff, to. And I played some topical videos that we could have a very interesting discussion about. And unfortunately, apparently, we're not making that happen this evening. If you want to call, I'll give you a couple more minutes. Number's right there on the screen. I'd love to have a talk. I'd love to have your opinion of whether or not you trust what the Pentagon says. A single word. If you believe anything that they're saying, when they say, this is what happened, this is what happened, do you believe any part of what they're saying? There was people staying here and a bomb went off. Everything else is a lie. At least, again, this was the very first thing that I thought of when I saw this news this morning. And then I came and posted a TV show, upcoming live stream. Do you believe this? After I saw this, the very first thing I thought was, I bet it's the Pentagon that did this. I bet it's someone that the Pentagon gave lots and lots and lots of money to that did this. If it wasn't, the Pentagon, and that makes it is the Pentagon, right? It's just like when the FBI gives these guys who want to pull off this terror plot, kidnapping the governor, Whitmer, or whatever the fuck her face is. I fuck your face. Right, when the FBI pays them to do that, it's just, how is that okay? Because one of those guys pleaded guilty, and apologized to Governor Whitmer just recently. The FBI trained them, bought food for them, paid them all their expenses so they could stay in a hotel. The FBI paid for all of it, showed them how to kidnap the governor. And now those people are going to jail because the FBI needed patsies to prove how indispensable the FBI really is. Just like the Pentagon needs terrorists to show just how important the U.S. military is to Afghanistan. Although, if it wasn't for the U.S. military being in Afghanistan, this bombing in front of this hotel where Americans were told to go by the fucking Pentagon and the State Department, this hotel would not have been bombed if it were not for the Pentagon. Not for the Pentagon keeping a war going for 20 years against people living in caves and mud huts. 20 years. Pentagon's choice. This would not have happened. This would not have happened if they left 2 years into this thing, said, okay, we're out of here. This would not have happened. Check my what now? Manny is trying to call. Well, I'm not in charge of answering the phone today. So if Manny is trying to call, he must be dialing the wrong number. Craig, you don't have it on Do Not Disturb, do you? No, he does not. So, Manny, I would think you have us on speed dial at this point. Thank you, Jackie Cat. Hello, caller.
Hey, Max.
Hey, Manny.
Manny was talking about the killers.
The what?
The kidnapping. Manny was talking about the kidnappers from the governor.
Uh-huh.
If you actually read the news and read the affidavits, what's it called? The indictment of terrorism in the last 20 years, or the wannabe terrorists. I noticed certain parents, a lot of them are like loser kids or like lonely kids. And apparently a friend or someone just approached them and trying to convince them to do certain illegal things. And those are those people who were trying to convince our lonely kids that lonely losers were like FBI agents or informers. So I I do believe that in a certain point, to a certain point, what you're saying is true, that the FBI is actually trying to provoke these people into committing this act so they can claim credit of themselves. It's like they're trying to justify their own job, basically.
Yeah, I say this all the time, Manny. I say the cops need criminals, the FBI needs fucking domestic terrorists, the CIA needs terrorists, the Pentagon needs wars.
Well, that's what they keep them on the rolling, though.
That's what keeps their budget growing. That's exactly right.
Yeah, it's kind of sad though, because the whole military industrial complex depends on the Pentagon budget. Like all the things that you see in Everett, all those companies that are sitting over there in Everett, a lot of them are defense contractors, so they depend highly on the budget of the U.S. Department of Defense.
Yeah.
Or depends on what Boeing is doing though, because a lot of those companies are Boeing suppliers. So it's kind of sad that it's like they're in drugs or something. Basically, they depend on the government. The drugs for them is the government money.
Yeah, it's not kind of sad, Manny. And it's not really sad. It's evil. All this shit is going on purpose, and it's disgusting, and it's evil. People making money off of killing people. That's disgusting.
I mean, that's always been the case, Mark.
No, it's not, Manny. How many people did you kill in order to make money, Manny?
I don't know. Maybe I'm kind of accomplice though, because I mean, everybody who has a retirement account somehow has shares directly or indirectly with the military industrial complex.
All right, let me rephrase the question. How many people would you kill to make money, Manny?
That's an interesting ethical question, Mark. Because if I was in the industry and what's it called? The pros and cons are more into the pros' favor. I don't know. It's an interesting question, Mark.
It's not. It's a simple question. If you knew you could make a lot of money investing in, off of war profiteering, what you're saying is you wouldn't have an issue doing that. Is that right?
I don't know, Mark. Let me ask you another rhetorical question, Mark. And this is a rhetorical question that they asked us when I was taking one of my finance classes in college. I was doing a research because I was researching for stocks for one of my classes, and they gave me, oh yeah, you're gonna go give pharmaceutical company. And I was making that research, and this pharmaceutical company, one of the things that they do the most is they do drugs for HIV patients, and they actually cure hepatitis C. And what I was looking at is apparently, the treatment for hepatitis C was obviously way too expensive, but it was actually curing people.
Killing people?
And then, no, like curing people. Like
they have a cure for hepatitis C. It's very expensive. It's like $27,000 a pill or something.
No, at the time it was around $80,000 a pill or something. Anyway, they were actually curing people.
Yeah.
And basically the projections that I was doing in my thesis is that eventually they're not going to be able to make a profit anymore, because eventually they'll be curing most of the people with hepatitis C. And most of those were highly subsidized by insurance companies or Medicaid. So it's a very interesting and very ethical question. Would you rather keep those people on a permanent treatment for life, or would you rather cure them for hepatitis C? I think you can use the same rhetorical question when it comes to war. Would you make more money on a forever war, or would you make more money keeping peace? Do you see the point that I'm trying to say?
Yeah, well, look, again, if you cure someone, then you can't make any money off them, which is why the cure costs so much money. Okay, so, and if the priority on this planet, in this society, is to make a better society, then, you have to have priorities like curing people, no matter how much it costs. And and if it was not a for-profit medical industrial complex, it would cost way less if people didn't have to profit off it. The same thing with war, right? If there was no profiteering off of war, Liz Cheney, there wouldn't be war going on, because nobody would be pushing for it, because nobody's making money off of it, and it just makes you look evil, especially if you're not making money off of it. But if you're making money off it, it's okay to look evil. Right, Liz Cheney?
Yeah, and here's another thing that it kind of was about. When there's war, when there's a lot of money, when there's a lot of competition within that same military industrial complex, there's going to be a lot of innovation and a lot of technological advances and stuff like that. That would, in theory, is going to give competitive advantage to the U.S. But after 20 years, I've seen images and videos. Go to Forsan, go to Zero Hedge, go to those blogs, websites that they're talking about the military abandon Afghanistan. You'll see that they actually are living like very, very high-tech weapons. And they're seeing Taliban trying to fly a Black Hawk helicopter.
Yeah.
Videos though. So it's very worrying though, because for one thing, we were creating weapons to give competitive advantage to America, but now we're giving that indirectly to our enemy. So we're creating another kind of like a weapons race or something like that, which is going to make this even more dangerous. So it's kind of like like a cycle, like a vicious cycle. Like we create a technology to be more competitive, and then eventually we want to give that to our enemies so they can be more competitive. So we have to start playing cash out with them and going in circles over and over and over. And it's just, that's kind of concerning, Max.
If they cared about being competitive with the rest of the world, they'd be working on our infrastructure. They're not.
That's true.
They don't care about being competitive with the rest of the world. All they care about is keeping us as fucking drones and slaves, and profiteering everywhere they can, every way they can, and they don't care about collateral damage on the way, and it's fucking disgusting. And I think higher of you than that, Manny, to be someone who would make money off of killing people. So you know.
It's an interesting question, Mark. It's a very, it's not a black and white question, Mark.
Yes, it is. It absolutely is a black and white question.
For you, it's a black and white question, but there's a lot of different factors that you have to consider, and for me, it's not a black and white question.
About how many people it's okay to kill as long as you're making a profit off of it. That's a complicated question.
Okay, let me explain now. Let me explain how I see things. When you're dealing with a large number, you're no longer seeing people, you're seeing statistics. That's how I feel.
Look, we can see the people. Everyone can see the people. We know that there's tons of civilians that are being slaughtered, and it's all because of the Pentagon and the most brilliant strategic military minds on the planet. Okay, that's probably the most highly paid strategic military minds on the planet. Complete and utter fuck ups. Okay, so it's not complicated, Manny. It's
You know something funny though. Something funny that I remember. Back in 15 years ago, when I was watching the news, of the Pentagon and stuff. They were fighting us with Soviet weapons that the Soviet Union left when they were invading Afghanistan.
Mm-hmm.
And now we are living, and the future generation of fighters are going to be using our weapons against whoever is going to try to invade them.
Yeah, that's
now, conspiracy theories say that the next target is going to be China. China is going to go after them because eventually they're going to try to expand into China, and they're trying to, rattle up the Uyghurs over there and try to get independent.
China is not going to war in Afghanistan. China has watched superpower after superpower get destroyed in Afghanistan. Empire after the nickname for Afghanistan is Empire Killer. Okay, China is not going in there except for to write a giant business deal in order to corner the lithium market. Other than that, China is not about to deter from that happening. So, you
Not
know.
just the lithium market, though. That's apparently that's a big trade line for the Silk Road Initiative or something. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah.
Because the Silk Road Initiative is a series of ports, railways, and highways that they use to move materials from into China.
Yeah.
So that's a very, very strategic location for China for the Silk and Road Initiative.
Right, and the Taliban and Afghanistan would like to be part of the Silk and Road Initiative. Okay, so it's not going to be. Look, the Taliban wants to do business with the rest of the world. They see the ability to make a lot of money. Okay, so.
Yeah, and the other thing is, I don't know if you know this, but like the United States just blocked their money for the Afghanistan and the Taliban goal, and they actually keep the gold of the Afghanistan gold, so they're not going to give the Afghanistan gold back to the Taliban. So they're going to turn it to the Chinese to make money.
Yeah, well, look, they could do business with anyone, and what they're saying is that they'd like to do business with the world. So we'll see where that goes, Manny.
I know. Interesting times, man. Have you seen Rambo 3?
Huh?
Have you seen Rambo 3?
No, I don't think I have.
I highly recommend you, though. You want to laugh so hard and so ironically about this whole situation, but you need to see Rambo 3 first.
Okay.
No, for real. Watch it.
Okay.
When you have time to stream it, watch it, and you're going to laugh so freaking hard, man.
Okay. All right. All right, Manny.
Oh, and a lot of people in the chat, I'm pretty sure they got the idea what I'm talking about. But you need to see it now.
Yeah, well. All right, Manny. I'll talk to you again soon, okay?
All right, man. Take it easy.
Okay, see ya. And, you know, I have a big issue with the whole war profiteering thing. You know, like I was asking Manny, how many people is it okay to kill murder as long as you're making money, you know? Because I don't think that I have a lot more, you know, that I'm a lot more ethical than other people. I will say that I don't have this giant attraction towards money. I haven't, I've had lots and lots and lots of opportunities to sell out. And it's not something that I'm looking for, you know? I just want to be of service. I want to feel like I make things happen in the world, and it's not because I have some big giant corporation behind me. Because then you don't do what you do the way you do it. You do what you do because this big giant corporation appreciates the way you do it. So anyways, again, Craig, you don't have a caller. We do this every Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Do you have a caller? Oh, okay. Caller. Hello, caller.
Hey, Mark. How's it going?
Fine.
Man, what a piece of shit fucking Joe Biden is, man. Jesus Christ, bro.
They're all pieces of shit, dude.
You know what he did? He fucking made peace look bad. He fucking made peace look bad. Can you believe it, Max?
I don't know.
Dude, like, I don't think America's got the stomach for another peaceful pullout. I mean, this guy gave peace a bad name. I mean, he's such a fuck up.
Look, there's the most strategic military minds in the fucking Pentagon on the planet, okay? And they say bullshit like, oh, we had no idea Afghanistan would fall so quickly. They knew exactly what's going on, okay? So you can put it all on Biden but when it's actually Bush, Obama, Trump, Biden, it's all of them, okay? And the fuck-ups in the goddamn Pentagon, okay? Those are probably the most highly paid military strategic minds on the planet, and you cannot fuck up this bad on accident. If that's who you are, if you're the most intelligent strategic military minds on the planet, you can't fuck up this bad. Okay? So it's on purpose. It's clearly on purpose.
This is the most colossal fuck up.
Right.
I've
That's what I'm
ever
saying.
seen.
It's
You know what I
not
mean?
possible to
Like,
fuck up this bad.
It's just like hard to imagine fucking up any harder than this.
Right.
I saw the news today where they're like, they gave them a list of all the Americans we want to get out of there.
Yeah.
They gave them a fucking, like, hey, please don't assassinate these people. Please.
Well, the Taliban went into one of the bases, I think it's Bagram, but I'm not sure. They went into one of the bases. They found a hard drive tower, which had like 16 hard drives in it or something, and that had all the biometrics for every single person that they wanted to get out of Afghanistan. So the Taliban knows who everybody is. They didn't need the list. They already knew it.
Yeah, I saw the pictures where they're like, holding the guy's head and like they're fucking taking the little retinal scan of him. Like I saw that like fucking day one, dude. Like fucking, they fucking, yeah, they got that shit quick and like fucking, dude, this whole day, like the whole day, I mean, I browse the internet, man. I always look at the news and I always look for the uncensored news, because if there's something like going on weird, like a false flag with the slaughter, you unfortunately have to look at the slaughter, And like, I saw so many fucking dead bodies today, and like, it just there was like no response, like literally until like right up until 5 p.m. Like the whole time when I was at work, every time I looked, for the news, I'd see stuff like that. Oh, the Biden admin just called a lid on the press today, and they're fucking, going to take a long weekend, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then all of a sudden at the last minute, when I get home around 5, it's like, oh shit, Biden's going to fucking speak. I'm like, dude, what are they doing? I mean, this guy's clearly a fucking zombie. I mean, like,
yeah.
Are they fucking, like, finding, like, it takes them a few hours to find a baby so they can shoot him up with baby's blood? What are they doing? What's taking so long? Why does it take so long to prep Biden to go read a fucking teleprompter? I mean, it's just, it's like jaw-dropping like that. Like, I've never seen, like, it's hard to imagine how this is going to get worse. And I was a pretty pessimistic dude, all right? I told my friends, I told everybody, yeah, when Biden gets elected, 1 million people are going to die. But I thought they were going to do it the old-fashioned, traditional way they've already done it, where, they're arming the rebels against the Syrians or whatever, what I mean? It's like, oh no, all of a sudden ISIS got a bunch of money and we're like, weapons, we better arm the fucking rebels and, to fight it. And what's this? Oh man, ISIS has got more. And here's a picture of John McCain with the rebels. They're actually the terrorists. It's weird. I don't know. It's just sending more money, and like, I figured it's going to happen like that. I didn't figure it's going to be like, yeah, here's the entire U.S. Army's fucking military supply in a day. Like, wow, that's like, that's worse than my worst case scenario.
Again, yeah, and this is the most brilliant strategic minds on the planet, okay? So this is not accidental. This is what they want.
Yeah, man, like, I ain't got much time because it's late over here, but so I want to talk about the coup. In that video, I guess you had where, I don't know, I guess one of the videos, I don't know if you even played it, like the fucking dude where they're fucking, I think you talked about it at least, the fucking military, where they're forcing people to fucking comply in order to stay employed in the fucking military.
Yeah.
I saw news where it was like 800,000 completely unvaxxed, You know, like just 800,000 out of 1.4 million.
Yeah.
And they're discussing whether they're going to court-martial them or just discharge them, like medically or whatever. They're about to fucking fire half the military, right? I saw another fucking thing where another poll was like, you know, just not military, where civilians and shit. 44% of people would fucking, you know, quit, get fired, to fucking do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, dude, this thing, I mean, like, I watched these, you know, I look at these memes. There's this one where it's like a guy, he's like totally guerrilla warfare out. He's got goggles and ski mask and rifle, and he's sitting in a Jeep looking back at someone else sitting in a Jeep, and he's like, I know things are scary right now, but it's going to get way worse. And I mean, like, I think we're going to see the biggest happenings ever coming. Like, I think it's just going to be one fucking horrific thing after another come September onward throughout the entire winter.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, I mean, like, this is like unbelievable.
Which is why everybody has to recognize, again, it's not Biden, okay? I know they want to scapegoat Biden and make it look like it's Biden. This shit has been coming like a railroad train for a decade and more, okay? So, and these people, you know, you can say, oh, well, Trump did whatever. Trump didn't stop anything, okay? He could have done something, and he didn't.
I saw an interview with Trump. You know, I had to watch it on Rumble because they don't fucking, you know, he's banned, you know,
Yeah.
hate speech or whatever, right? But so I was watching him on Rumble, and he was talking because this was about a week-ish, maybe a little bit less ago, you know, when the original interview was, you know, aired or something.
Yeah.
Like, and he was talking about how he, you know, because they obviously asked him about Afghanistan. He said straight up, you know, without pausing anything like that, he was like, yeah, I fucking talked to the leader. I mean, he gave the guy's name, the leader of the Taliban, or he even said, well, we think is the leader of Taliban. Nobody really knows for sure. And we told him, dude, if you fuck with our fucking military, if one of our guys gets hurt or killed, we're going to bomb you like nobody's ever been bombed before. And then he said, he talked to this fucking Taliban leader. He says, we know your home village. And he fucking name dropped the village where he's from. And he's like, we're going to fucking blow you up. And Biden's, you know, I believe he would have fucking blew the shit out and still left. You know what I mean? Like, because it's like, fuck it. Hey, you know, you fuck with us, fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many people. I go to, like, lunch and smoke breaks, and I fucking talk to my coworkers, dude, and talking to people, and they're fucking crying practically. You know, they're upset, you know, at this shit, dude. They served in Afghanistan. I didn't do it, but they did. You know, and, you know, they all know it's like, you know, it was all for nothing, right? But, dude, they don't want to watch their fucking people fucking die.
Yeah.
And all this other
Nobody
shit,
wants
dude. Like,
nobody wants to watch that except for fucking war profiteers, because war profiteers know this is gonna make them more money when they see that shit.
Yeah. I mean, like, fucking, I don't know if I'll switch gears back to the coof. Dude, like, fucking, I want to try and be careful what I say here, but man, Israel, you know, they're a little bit ahead of the curve, you know what I mean? Like, they're on their third thing that they're doing, dude.
Yeah.
You should watch them very closely. They've done it since July, and it's shocking, the numbers coming from there. If you want to know what's going to happen, and they're saying things like, well, if you're fully, you know, whatever, or if you're not, whatever, you know, it used to be about the number of things you did, right? Pretty soon it's going to be about the number of days you did it.
Yeah.
And the people that used to be fully whatever are now not fully whatever in the statistics. So these people that, you know, you think they're saying one thing, but, you know, now they've changed the definition of that again.
Right.
So they're going to blame it on the people who aren't doing anything, because you can see on the chart, these people aren't fully thinged. You know, like, you know, like, no, they are. They used to be. It's already started happening, dude. Like, fucking, you know, and they fucking, you know, I won't say it, the name, but, dude, the FDA's coming out, you know, against, you know, fucking certain medications that, you know, you can give animals. that Japan is now singing the praises of, India sings the praises of.
Oh yeah, we had somebody talking about that the other night. Brandon, two Bronze Star Brandon was saying something about veterinary stuff.
Yeah, the pace, the horse pace.
Yeah, something about horses.
Yep. Yeah. And like, I mean, it's got a very specific medical name, you know. It's just one ingredient with filler for horses and shit.
Yeah.
You know? But like, fucking, yeah, dude. Like, they were like, they have Twitter. They're like, seriously, y'all? This is from the FDA. They're just fucking posting shit. It's like, seriously, y'all? You're not horses. I'm like, oh, dude, this is like one of the miracle things that are happening in the world, right? You know what I mean? Like, it's been fucking, like, the numbers are outstanding. And you're just not approving it, you know.
Yeah.
But they're approving that one thing that now means your job can fire you. Oh, and you can't fucking talk about it. Like, dude, I was talking to my coworkers, dude. Some of us were like, man, fuck it, dude. I'm never gonna fucking do it, you know. Like, you just fire me. I don't care, dude. I mean, that's how fucked up and crazy this world is. Everybody's afraid to talk about it on social media and stuff, and then they're going to fucking fire you now.
Yeah.
All right? It's not even protecting Fauci or some fucking dumb politician lose in California. They're going to fire us.
Yeah. Well, I keep trying to point out that the first responders are having an issue, right? And and we're talking nursing homes, we're talking EMT, people, we're talking nurses, we're talking policemen, we're talking firefighters. They don't want to get it. And, when they say like, oh, we're going to fire you, number one, I heard that that's not legal from, I can't remember, some kind of a business protection or employee protection organization.
Yeah, do the shit out of them. Be sure to get fired, too.
Yeah.
Like, quit.
But when all these first responders have an issue, right, then, if we fire all of them, what kind of complications is that going to make? Right? You fire a bunch of firefighters, what kind of complications are you going to have from that, you know? So
they're going to fire half the military.
Yeah, well, wow. I think that's a pretty good idea, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully they fire the generals too, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, everybody, I wish half of them in charge would get fired. I actually wish all of them in charge get fired. You know, I'd settle for a clean sweep.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's not just, in charge. I mean, there has to be trials. It has to come out about what they did. They lied us into war in Iraq, blatantly, lied straight out of the Pentagon, and they murdered 1 million innocent Iraqis in the process. Those people need to go to jail forever.
Yeah, man, like, we got, like, all of a sudden, it's ISIS-K. What
right.
does K stand for? Kickstarter?
Yeah.
Like, they fucking kickstarted ISIS, Kickstarter.
Sounds right.
Program, dude. Jesus, dude. You know what I mean? Like, in your face.
Right.
Dude.
Out of nowhere, all of a sudden, ISIS appears again. Right? How convenient.
I actually made the meme where, like, the dude, the fucking new Star Wars fucking movies, dude, where he goes, in the movies, he's like, he sighs, he's like, somehow Palpatine has returned. So I made it so I could sigh.
Yeah.
Somehow ISIS has returned. Because no one explained how the Emperor came back in the last Star Wars movie, you know? He was since Return of the Jedi. All of a sudden, he's back. Nobody knows how. And now it's, ISIS is back. Nobody knows how, you know? It's like we just like literally dropped off $1 trillion worth of military equipment and emptied the prisons of the ISIS people who weren't the ones fighting with us against the Syrians, but the ones that were actually killing Americans in fucking Afghanistan. And we freed them, and like fucking, I guess they walked into the right building. Here's a fucking tank. Here's a fucking 1,000 rifle, you know? Here's a fucking rocket launcher. Here's a retinal scan to identify your enemies. It's like, oh, God, dude, they're already starting up new war propaganda. You know, this is like the war on terror 2.0,
yeah.
You know, whatever the fuck it is, dude. And it was planned.
Yeah,
you know? But, like,
completely.
Even then, though, I think they planned it probably wasn't, their plan wasn't supposed to be this incompetent.
It's again, that's giving them too much of an out, man. The truth is that again, this is the most strategic military minds on the planet. Okay, you cannot fuck up this bad. It's just not possible. So they planned it. They want it exactly this way.
I was on the same page, I was under the kind of belief that, deep state, military, Pentagon, CIA, whoever was running the show. But I think this is so bad. I think they're trying to run the show. Like, they set up the dominoes, right? But, fucking, dude, I think they will get the final order for fucking Biden, though, man. I'm like, all right, Biden, should we do this? All right, Biden's too busy to answer right now. He's eating ice cream. It's the only thing that helps with his dementia, That's the only thing he remembers is his happy childhood when he ate ice cream. It's great for dementia patients. Which, by the way, is true. And, fucking...
so is cannabis.
He can't talk right now. He can't talk right now. And they're like, are you sure? Are you sure? We can't do this without your final order. And I'm beginning to think they still treat Biden as commander-in-chief. They set up the dominoes, but when you need that final order, that final say from the executive, oh my God, it's Joe Biden. Because, it looks like that to me. It looks like, deep state, Pentagon set up dominoes.
Yeah, like I said, you can't put it all on Biden. All right, hey, I got to take a break. I'm glad you called. It's good to hear from you. Thanks for the talk. See you later.
Have a good one, Mike. Bye.
All right, I'm going to play a quick video, and this is going to be your last chance to call, and I will be back in 2 seconds here. This is clip number 10. Be right back.
This weird thing where people keep saying, is Joe Biden consulting with the experts, the defense and intelligence experts? I hope he isn't, because they're the ones who created this mess. At this point, after multi-decades of seeing what U.S. foreign policy under the direction of defense and intelligence agencies has looked like, trusting them to continue to give us guidance on what we should be doing here is like still continuing to trust Fauci when it comes to COVID. Like, they have demonstrated that they are at best inept and at worst bad actors. And again, let's be clear. The U.S. intelligence and defense community has demonstrated a willingness and eagerness to arm its own enemies starting in the 1950s, the 1960s, the 1970s, the 1980s, the 1990s, the 2000s, and the 2010s. And yet it is a crackpot conspiracy theory to think that it might still be happening now. It seems very interesting that at a time that the U.S. is pulling out, we need to end the authorization of use of military force. Yes. The war powers need to put back in the hands of Congress and of the people. And we need to completely relook at how we've been doing foreign policy for decades now, not just post 9/11, but really post Operation Ajax in the 1950s. We need to end the military industrial complex. We need to bring the troops home, and we need to stop this expeditionary foreign policy that has ended and ruined so many lives.
If not now, when?
That suddenly ISIS appears and starts killing dozens of people. That suddenly ISIS appears and starts killing dozens of people. That suddenly...
Lo and behold, ISIS appears all of a sudden, out of nowhere. How convenient. I don't know why he left that part off. How convenient for the war profiteers. All right, so I came here to play videos, take fat dabs, and talk with phone callers about the things that are happening today. So I don't have any phone callers. I already had a fat dab, and I actually have more videos, but I'm not going to play them. Which means we've reached that time, boys and girls. I want to thank you so much for tuning in, because it means a lot to me that you are here, because, we have such a hard time getting people to the stream that it really means a lot to me that you show up. Okay? So thanks so much. That being said, we do this every Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific time, which means we'll be back tomorrow, same Mox time, same Mox channel, and until then, stay cool. Because one of these days, this war is going to end. Stay cool till then.
I mean, this
coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other. They stay united. I wish the coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other. They stay united. Coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other. They stay united. Coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other. They stay united. Coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other. They stay united.
Sometimes life can be a little overwhelming. Sometimes the weight of the world can be too much to bear. Sometimes you need to stop worrying and take a deep breath. Sometimes you need cannabis. Introducing Brightside, high-quality cannabis delivered right to your door. Brightside offers an extensive menu of strains and products to meet your needs. Choose the experience you want, and we'll send you the dankest herb, the real sticky icky, some top-shelf marijuana. If you like what we send you, keep the whole jar. We'll even include some nugs for you to blaze. As part of Discovery, you'll get to try new strains and products. Side effects may include euphoria, increased appetite, uncontrollable giggles, elevated sensitivity to musical dopeness, and reduced anxiety. Tetrahydrocannabinol may also induce feelings of existential well-being and relentless optimism. With a Brightside subscription, you can get it once a month, once a week, or whenever you want, all at a price you'll like. And yes, this is a real company.
Do you know who I am? You're the wizard.
Ask your doctor if cannabis is right for you. It probably is. Keep it Brightside.
No matter which mouth you feed on a two-headed snake, it still shits the same turd. But lucky for you, you have Mox News. More than 10 years. More than 60,000 videos. Mox News has been filtering the nonsense and illuminating the bullshit from your mainstream media. Turn off your TV and turn on to Mox News. For over a decade, documenting the socio-political events that have etched and carved the pathways that define today's modern mess, Mox News has been providing clarity while faithfully bringing you today's relevant stories 100% commercial-free and subscription-free. And just like Lady Liberty vows to remain free. But at this time, we're asking you for your help, your patronage, and your support to keep the lights on and the videos rolling. For less than 17 cents per day, you can become a basic subscriber, knowing that your donation is truly making a difference that will help continue bringing the news stories that make a difference in your life. Turn on, tune in, and drop a couple dimes today by clicking the link below or visiting moxnews.com and show your support at any level. From a single one-time donation or dedicated monthly subscriber, do it now in less than 2 minutes. All donations are safe, securely processed, and verified using PayPal, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, or Discover Card. As always, we're sure you'll find something of interest each and every day. This holiday season, give the gift of Mox. moxnews.com.